Hello everyone, welcome to this e-content video. The poem taken for analysis for this module is The Lotus Eaters by Alfred Lord Tennyson. We are going to read the first three stanzas of the poem. The Lotus Eaters was first published in the volume of 1832. The central idea of the poem was taken from Homer's Odyssey. Let me give you a brief background information about what inspired Tennyson to write this poem. In the ninth book of Odyssey, it is mentioned that Ulysses, the Greek hero, and his men reached a strange island. The inhabitants of the island offered them the fruit of a strange plant to eat. After consuming the intoxicated fruit, Ulysses and his men no longer wished to voyage the tumultuous seas. They forgot their homes and they decided to spend the rest of their days in the strange land. This is the major source of inspiration for Tennyson to write The Lotus Eaters. Let us read the first three stanzas of the poem. The first part of the poem before the choric song consists of 5 stanzas written in Spenserian style. The poem begins with the words of Ulysses, the Greek hero. Now let's read the poem line by line. Courage, he said, and pointed toward the land. The mounting wave will roll us shoreward soon. Here, he refers to Ulysses. Ulysses and his men were at sea for a very long time with no sight of land. His companions had almost lost hope of reaching land. During the voyage, one day, Ulysses spots land at a distance. With great gusto, he calls out to his comrades and tells them that the huge rising wave will soon carry them to dry land. He lifts their sagging spirits by telling them to have courage because soon they are going to reach safer shores. In the afternoon, they came unto a land in which it seemed always afternoon. Ulysses and his men reached the island in the afternoon. As soon as they set foot on the island, they had a very weird feeling about the island. It looked as if time stood still in the island, and it always seemed like afternoon time. All round the coast, the languid air did swoon, breathing like one that had a weary dream. The whole island seemed to be engulfed in a dull, hazy atmosphere. Ulysses and his men felt like they were in a dream. They were in a trance-like state. Let's read from the poem. Full-faced above the valley stood the moon, and like a downward smoke, the slender stream, along the cliff to fall and pass, and fall did seem. The full moon was spotted above the valley. The thin stream, which flowed from steep cliffs, falls and starts and falls again. The flow of water was obstructed intermittently by the craggy mountains, and when it flowed, it appeared like smoke moving downwards. Everything about the island was very strange. The sailors couldn't guess the time of the day. They could see the bright moon up in the sky in broad daylight. They felt very drowsy and wished to lie down and rest their aching bones. In the forthcoming stanzas, Tennyson describes the beauty of the island in a very picturesque manner. A land of streams, some like a downward smoke, slow dropping veils of thinness to lawn did go, and some through wavering lights and shadows broke, rolling a slumberous sheet of foam below. The strange land was a land of gurgling streams and cascading waters. Some flowed down the steep rocks like thin columns of smoke. Some flowed like thin curtains on land. Some flowed inland, making its way through the light and darkness created by the lush green vegetation in the forest. The brooks and streams that flowed inland looked like sheets of foam. Now let's read the lines from the poem. They saw the gleaming river seaward flow from the inner land far off, three mountain tops, three silent pinnacles of aged snow, stood sunset flushed and dewed with showery drops. Up clomb the shadowy pine above the woven copse. With great wonderment, Ulysses and his men saw the shimmering river flow to the sea. They spotted three mountain peaks far away, and these peaks were covered in snow. It looked as if the snow had been there for many ages. The snow which covered the peaks glimmered in the rays of the setting sun. Tall pine trees shot up above the entangled vegetation in the mountains. The leaves of the trees were wet with rain droplets. The charmed sunset lingered low down in the red west. The beautiful sunset seemed to stay for some more time in the island. It seemed as if the sun was not willing to say goodbye to the charms of the beautiful land. Through mountain clefts, the dale was seen far inland, and the yellow down bordered with palm, and many a winding vale and meadow set with slender galingale. Through the cracks and fissures in the mountains, one could see the valley set deep inside the island. The valley looked very magical, with fields full of yellow-hued flowers. The yellow fields were bordered with tall palm trees. The landscape, the winding valleys, and the grasslands were carpeted with slender galingale. Galingale is a type of an aromatic plant with a slender stem. The gentle breeze that blew in the island was intoxicated with the fragrance from the galingale. As Ulysses and his men were struck with awe and wonder at the beauty of the island, they saw strange looking men approaching the keel of their ship. And round about the keel with faces pale, dark faces pale against that rosy flame, the mild-eyed melancholy lotus eaters came. Ulysses and his comrades noticed strange men approaching the keel of their ship. These men were none other than the inhabitants of the island. Their pale faces and drowsy eyes looked more ghostly in the red rays of the setting sun. Ulysses and his men realized that these strange men were the inhabitants of the much stranger land. Thank you.